Check. It's like every time I do something, it's like, this guy's such a rookie, right? Well, we're learning. That's okay. That's like the point. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. So trying to do a mic check here. Oh, it's really quiet. Okay, we'll turn down this. We're learning now, right? All the way up. Check, 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 check. Man, I gotta deal with this every time. I gotta figure out a better way to handle this. Alright, sounds better. Heyo, how you doing, Rain? Welcome to the stream. So we had some suggestions on Instagram. I'm gonna turn this music down a bit. So strange to me. I'll understand this program eventually, right? That's better. That's much better. Okay. So, let's go through and check the old Instagram and see what people suggested that we do. Don't mind me. Just looking here. And honestly, we can do whatever we want. So I just went through and went to the top liked maps on Incarnate. If you don't know what Incarnate is, it's a really cool app where people like me who are really bad at art and stuff like that can make unique, cool maps for your RPG games. I personally, if you haven't noticed, my Instagram might show this, but I am not an artist, so I use the same exact art every single time I post. But it's not the art that matters, it's the content, right? These are the things that were suggested. Whoever wants to throw out what we want to do today, feel free to in the chat, and we will do that. But these are the things that were suggested. So I asked what we wanted to see in our world building stream today, and these are the things that were voted. So there were caverns. Somebody said that they're too busy to watch it live, but they'll gladly watch it later, which is fantastic. I appreciate that. Complicated political restrictions. That seems a little obscure to me, but we can conquer that if we want to. Towns and taverns. Coming up with lore for the whole world, i.e. big wars, historical figures. And that sounds pretty fun. Stories entwined with locations also sounds really fun. Aquatic/fire world interconnected biome, which sounds really cool as well. Religion, easy go-to for that one. Building big cities and how to structure authorities and organizations might be fun to kind of knock out today. How to make fun, unique worlds that a beginner can do to not become overwhelmed, which is kind of one of the reasons why I have my Instagram, to make it easier for newer DMs who just have like writer block. Somebody said a volcano, which sounds really fun. Some character build. We can build some characters sometime on here. Mini BBEG boss concepts. Deep caves, and how to design a town, which all sounds super fun. What I wanted to do right now, first and foremost, is I want to show off Incarnate. And I also have World Anvil up here. World Anvil is super easy to use as well, but we'll get into that later. Incarnate. I actually have the pro version here, but they do have a free version that is easy to use. Like I said earlier, I'm not the best artist, but I was able to make something like this on the free version. So if you look here, I mean, it's simple, but it would work for your world if you needed it, right? So I have a settlement, some sort of farming town, a town and woods here, different types of trees. I put a little creature in the water for funsies, a little citadel thing. And these are all pre-made things that you can just kind of stamp down in the world. Also made like a nice path that maybe people travel. I mean, it's not the most detailed map, but this is also something you can do on a free version of Incarnate. To show how versatile it is, if you look up here at this area, I have another map that just kind of links up to that little foresty town. As soon as this loads. It's interesting because I have really good internet, so it's weird that it's taken so long. And then I just kind of made like a nice quick farmland. Like this honestly took probably 20-30 minutes to make, and super easy. So here's that town again. It's the same exact town, and then I added some woods around it. We got some like Star Wars sounding thing going on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip that. And then I have a port with a ship, and then like a little octopus thing, a church over here. This shows that you can scale things down, so you can make them smaller or bigger. And these are, like I said, all things you can add for free. These little docks were added separate from this little town, and this tower was added to give it a little bit more detail. This was like a pre-rendered thing. And look, I even got little trees over top of stuff. So it's honestly as much detail as you want to put in it. I could honestly go through here and give it more detail, but this is kind of just like a quick. All it is really is a tool for you to help show your players how to kind of make things. Rain is saying, big world lore sounds like it could be pretty fun, specifically historical figures. I've always had a knack for coming up with those. Cool, that sounds awesome. Mine's taking a long time to load. Yeah, Incarnate is pretty cool map making system. I've been using it for a little bit. Agreed. You know, I need to explore it more, and that's kind of why I'm on here. I thought maybe we could make a map today, but we can also explore some lore. So, what I did was I went through real quick and I liked some stuff. Oh, I don't want to go to my. Let's see. Let's go here. Oh, here it is, right here. Got it. Okay, so I thought this would be fun to do. So it's a nice, kind of worked out world already, and we could take the. It doesn't get too much detail when you zoom in, but we can take the named areas and just kind of explore each town and write some stuff down for that. How's that sound? So if we go over to World Anvil, we can look here and start writing some stuff. So you said that you wanted to do some historical figures. Okay, let's go into the past of our little world here. Let's take a look here and see what we want to start. So we have what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 realms. I like this little detail of a dead serpent up here. That looks pretty cool. Where to start? That's the beauty of writing all this stuff, is that there's so much that you can add to it, and it kind of gets overwhelming, right? So the best way to do it is pick what you know. Pick something simple. Something easy to do is forests. So we can start at the Council of Rhymes. I don't even know how to say that. Rhymes. Or we can start over here somewhere in Wreckham, like Wreckham Ralph. And that would be a nice, easy foresty thing. And we can do that real quick. So it looks like the Council of Verms. I don't know how to say this. Wreckham it is. So we have Meswood, Fens, and Zaith. And Zaith looks like a little fun little village we can play with. And it makes me think of, because of this strait with a little castle over here and this serpent, that maybe these are some sort of forest travelers. So maybe this is an elven village. I don't know if Zaith seems like a elven name, but Fens definitely does. Maybe Zaith is a like barbarian nomad type group that one day came in and took this area from the elves, who kind of went down to Fens, and they've been able to kind of live in peace for hundreds of years. But back in the day, maybe they got into a fight, and the elves know that the humans who live in this place are powerful, and they don't want to fight them in combat, but they've been able to make an amends. Because we have to remember that over hundreds of years, an elf leader might outlive a human leader. And so even though the humans in Zaith fought against the elves in Fens, the humans may have died of old age or whatever. And so the leaders in Fens, the elven leaders, are still alive, but they're dealing with the ancestors of the people that they had complications or war with in the past, maybe. So let's see how we can add that here. So we can start as calling it a settlement, or we can mess with the geography. Well, let's start by doing the country, right? So the country is Wreckham, Rekem. And we'll call it a geographical, I don't want to call it a continent. Free city, lordship, manor. What would you call it? Maybe that land bridge is shrinking. That is also a great idea. Republic, settlement, state. Gosh, there's just so many options. Tribe? Senate, parliament, guild. I don't want to go with military. Political alliance. Let's say it's a political alliance. Let's say because of their combat, eventually they became some sort of alliance that now they kind of work together. Maybe the fact that the land bridge is shrinking is a good idea for why they fought over the area, but now it's like too far gone and too dangerous to travel that either of them really want to go back there. There is a skeleton up there. We could work with that for sure. And there's also a castle. So I'm going to actually zoom in over here. I know it's not the best quality, but give us more of an idea of what we're working with here. So if you look, there's like some ancient ruins. Maybe at one point that was like the main high point of where the elves from Fens lived. And that's where Zaith kind of took over, because maybe these mountains had some really good materials in them that they were able to mine and use to sell at other places like Vybridge and Keyport and all that. But because of this serpent, they had to flee the area back to Zarth, and that's when they formed their alliance, maybe. I don't know. The barbarians of Zarth were once a powerful and dangerous people. They covered their bodies in white war paint that had venom mixed in with it. That is an amazing, beautiful detail. Through wearing the war paint, they built up a resistance to venom. This made them a problem against the neighboring elves, who used venom to coat their weapons quite prominently. That is a fantastic idea. The venom came from the snake that is in the north. Excellent. So maybe the barbarians lived in these northern areas and the snake wasn't so bad. But if explorers were to travel up here, they might find the remains of the snake, but they might find its offspring, a much smaller, because this snake is colossal. It's literally bigger than cities. So I would say if they come across its offspring, it's much smaller. But yeah, let's write some of that down. That sounds fantastic. Recum. Oh gosh, I gotta write all of this information down. I don't even know where to start. That's another thing. Like, where do you start? Bullet points are always helpful. No, that's an additional options. Here we go. Bullet points. The elves of, and then we said Fens. The elves of Fens once ruled the land of Recum. Though they commonly fought with the barbarians of the land, don't mind my spelling, please. That's why I have spell check. Though they commonly fought with the barbarians of the land, eventually the barbarians banded together and overtook the kingdom of Fens The barbarians created a kingdom named, I don't know if we want to call it a kingdom. Xarth, Xathe. But we can change that. Where they ruled northern Reckham for hundreds of years. Let's save this and go back to our dashboard. Yes. Got it here, add. And let's create these. I don't want organization, settlement, language, material. Let's create a conflict, right? What are we gonna name this conflict between these two? Whoopsie. The War of, we'll call it Reckham, right? The War of Reckham. Sports event is a I like that sports event is a type of military conflict. Let's see here. We'll call it a not really dual political debate. We'll call it a military campaign against the two. The barbarians of Xe, I don't remember how to spell that. Xathe. The barbarians of Xath were land hungry barbarians. That one word? That's funny. If it is. Okay, you just got a little hyphen in there. Barbarians of Xath were land hungry. So they formed an alliance. So we'll say they weren't the barbarians of Xath yet. The barbarians of Reckham. Human barbarians. Land hungry. And constantly at war with each other. Until they realized if they banded together to combat the elves, how do you spell? Is it ELFS or ELVES? How do you normally do it? You tell me. I don't know. We'll put ELVES. I don't know. What a weird thing that we developed. You know, why can't we just have one thing of elves? They realized that they banded together to combat the elves of Fens, right? Fens. They could easily conquer them. I don't know how to spell conquer, but that's what that's for. Oh, I keep right clicking. Conquer them and own the northern mountains of Reckham. Concur. That's funny. Oops. Mistakes were made. Geesh, I do not know how to spell conquer. That's okay. That's still concur. The venom comes from the great serpent who lives in the north of Reckham. The serpent's scales are tougher than steel and coated with a thick layer of slime. Makes sense. The serpent is rumored to be able to speak, and it has been around for hundreds of years. The serpent was once hostile to the inhabitants of Reckham, but after years of bloodshed, the serpent and the locals forged a deal. The serpent would provide them its powerful venom in exchange for an annual sacrifice. That is fantastic lore to add. Elves is usually how I spell it. Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. I'll probably stick to that from now on. Easily defeat it. Yeah. Since I don't know how to spell conquer. To do so, the barbarians brain farting here made an alliance with the serpent Reckham. And what are we going to name this serpent? What do you think? The elves not only use the venom in their weapons, they also have been using it as the main ingredient in a yearly feast. All the elders' best warriors partake in the feast, and usually a quarter of those eating the food will become violently ill or die. They believe those who live will be stronger. Interesting. I like that idea. Do we name the serpent something with a S? So whenever it talks, I guess the serpent wouldn't say its own name very often, but it would say Verms and Fens, the elves of Fens. I like the idea of it kind of whispering. Let's name the serpent. I'm thinking of World Eater. So here's a fun little thing that I always do. I go to Google Translate and let's see, English. We'll type in, I like the idea of the serpent eater from Norse mythology. Or the World Eater, I'm sorry. And then we can translate that to a Nordic-like language. I don't know Nordic languages. I don't know the names of them. Well, how does it sound in Welsh? Oh, I can't put that. That is not going to be the name of this. Let's see here. What's a fun sounding language? Swedish, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Indonesian, Armenian, Arabic, Icelandic. How's that? I know. That's just too difficult, right? Let's hear what that sounds like. That's too much. That's too much. Maybe we can take this and play with it, right? Haim Satari. So what if we call him Haim or Satari? That both those, Haim the serpent, it's actually another world eater in Theros, the Hydra. See, what is with these names? Pulu Kronos. Okay, so yes, the world eater. Pulu meaning eater and Kronos meaning world. I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not Google Translate. But let's see. Let's name him Haim for now. Heim. And now we have something to call this giant venomous serpent. To do so, the barbarians made an alliance with the serpent of Rechem Haim. Let's go back to it. The great serpent lives north of Rechem. I'm just going to copy this and paste it in here. Let's see. Let's make... Let's do this. And maybe go to the end here. And jump down and tab over. No, that's not an option here. Okay. How about we do a line break here. And then we paste it there. Serpent scales are tougher than steel, coated with a thick layer of slime. The serpent is rumored to be able to speak. And we'll put these in parentheses. Bloodshed. Cool, cool. That looks awesome. We've added some fun little lore here. This can also go somewhere else, I feel like. This is about the war. So let's follow through. Let's do the break. And then throw in that. And then we'll say the barbarians with their superior ability to use the venom in combat were able to overthrow the elves of Fens and push them south. So what if... So the land bridge is shutting past the land bridge. Otherwise, why would the barbarians have made a town south of the land bridge, right? They know that this continent is sinking into the ocean, maybe? That's why the serpent likes it. I mean, there are some mountain peaks with some, looks like huts on them. Maybe some residual barbarian tribes are still out here living in these wild lands, but honestly, they're too harsh to inhabit. But the more civilized barbarians, the ones who were sick of sacrificing to the serpent, moved south of the land bridge and created a village that they called Zarth. And the naysayers or the non-believers stayed in the northern peak of Rechem. Excellent. Let's go back to this. And let's go back to the dashboard. And we'll throw in, do we want to make a character for Reckham? Because you said specifically that you wanted to do historical figures, right? So let's make the leader of, let's make the war chief. Oops. Of XAT, XATHE. Oh boy. War Chief of Zaith. War Chief, 2 words. That's not right. Come on, autocorrect. I'm counting on you here. I'm fine with anything. All right, cool. IEF? I don't know what it is about, how about we go here? War Chief. War Chef, right? Where's that chief? I don't know. Oh, an anime. I have no idea what anime this is. Attack on Titan. I've actually never watched Attack on Titan. Heard it's pretty cool. Let's see here. War Chief. Refer to worldly. I guess that is CHEIF. Okay. Cool. Human who was the first to be resistant to the poison of that's still wrong. Of the serpent. We'll call it the Reckham serpent. Do that and that. Let's see. Why does that still say it's wrong? Yeah, we'll call him the human. This war chief was a powerful and charismatic leader who convinced the tribes to form an alliance. Let's see if you got anything here. No, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my Instagram live, see if we can get some people to join us through that. Throw that up right there. Convince the tribes to form an alliance. That they used to take over northern Reckham. So here's another idea I had. Instead of just the land bridge closing, which is an excellent reason for the barbarians to flee south, but maybe the world serpent the world serpent decided to kind of backstab the barbarians, and they had to work together with Fens. My dogs are barking in the other room. Whenever I stream, they like to act up. I wonder why that is. It's kind of funny. Let's see here. I will be right back. I'm going to make sure my dogs are good. Was able to calm down the dogs. Here we go. Let me fix some audio issues here. It seems like no music playing, and the mic has a lot of static coming through, right? Let's turn that down a bit. Maybe making it mono would help. Alright, hopefully that's helpful. I don't know. A lot of static comes through this mic, but I need to get a new one. Whatever. Let's see. Back to World Anvil. We are talking about the War Chief. Powerful, charismatic leader who convinced the tribes to form an alliance they used to take over Northern Reckham. Honestly, we don't need to... we can give this guy a name. Maybe his last name could be Xathe, Xathe. So, what do you guys want to call him? Do you want to just come up with some random name, or a mighty warning? Oh, thank you, Rain. You're always ready for those. We'll call him Teleron. Oh my goodness. Here, this is better on my lap. Taleron. Teleron Xathe. Of course, he named it after himself, right? Teleron Xathe, the War Chief of Xathe. Teleron first found out he was resistant to the venom when he was supposed to be one of the sacrifices of the Great Serpent. The Great Serpent usually liked to fill his victims with venom, and then they would watch them run away and catch and eat them with the venom set in. When he did this with Teleron, Teleron wasn't affected by the venom and managed to escape. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that in. The Great Serpent usually likes to... Excellent. Okay, so we don't need to add too much about him because, like we said, he is a past figure and he's most likely dead, right? So let's go back to our dashboard. And should we make a leader? We'll make another character, and this person will be the elf of those dogs. Kill me. But you gotta love them, right? All right. The elven leader. He's kind of a wimp. Maybe he's more passive. Passive. I don't want to put that. Let's call him. Let's look. Elven name generator. Bam. And we'll say he's a wood elf. Try it on. We don't want two T's. Vito. Hey, it's me, Vito, the elf. That makes sense. Titty. Always a fantastic name. Zalari. I like Zalari. Now, Zalari's still alive, so... Sections, design, navigation, preferences. Make it a parent category. Relationships. KK. We're learning this as we go, right? And the more I'm able to stream this, Danny DeVito. I'm the trash man, which would be funny for him too. I have a delayed echo now. Oh, that's because I'm mono. Thank you for the advice. Let's fix this. Sorry guys, I'm still trying to work out the kinks here. And I feel like that's going to take quite a bit of streams to kind of work out. Eventually I'll get this right. But I do have fun doing this. So, let's see. Zalari. The Elven. Leader. Of F. Is it E? No, I always put an E. I don't know. Let's see. Go back. Fens. Fens, like the character from Frozen. Yes. I was just telling my wife how much easier our life was when all we had was cats, and if we wanted to stay the night at a friend's house or whatever, which hasn't been as big of a deal this year since, you know, the whole worldwide pandemic and whatnot. But if we wanted to stay over at a friend's house, it wouldn't be a big deal. But now it's, if we put them in a cage, we probably shouldn't keep them in there for more than 8 hours, and kind of feels bad. But they are spoiled now that I work from home. So there's that. So let's say Zalari is a, let's do bullet list, passive leader of the elves, the wood of fens. Okay. And we can put a good amount of detail into him. Can I offer you a leader in this trying time? Vito be his crazy cousin or something. I do like the idea of Vito being maybe another elf that tries to, kind of like his poor. A lot of times in shows and stuff, leaders tend to have like poor like sidekicks, maybe like right hands of the throne or whatever you want to call it. In this case, we definitely could make Vito. Well, I'm pretty sure it was VD. I see. Oh, it's not up anymore. Well, there's Titty. We still do Titty too, guys. Passive leader of the Wood Elf of Fens. So he constructed traps, and this is just me kind of spitballing this, but he constructed traps and other types of devices that wouldn't necessarily kill the raiding barbarians, but maybe send them other ways, which is why they still thrived, even though they would commonly sacrifice their own. And fight each other. And then they're like, well, if we just work together, I'm sure the Wood Elves had tons of barbarian prisoners who maybe a part of the attack that was able to overthrow the elves of Fens was the the prisoners in Fens were kind of, it was kind of like an inside job where people were purposely getting caught so that they could help break out the other prisoners. I do like that idea. Let's talk about Zalari, though. Zalari, he's an illusion magic user, right? So, if I could type, we'll type powerful illusionist. Which that is clearly misspelled, but we'll see in a second. Who has been voted, it's like a democracy in this elven village, voted the leader of the elves of Fens. I can't type. For hundreds of years. I like to think of Zaluri as like, even though he is passive, I got rid of that I and then it corrects it. I don't understand that. But he is still an excellent leader, right? He's like the ideal leader. Like he kisses babies, shakes hands. Wasn't fairly elected. Maybe he was fairly elected. That's a cheesy joke. He used his illusions to get elected. Okay. Why does everybody gotta be bad though? You know, I feel like we always think of leaders as evil or have some ill intent, but this is a fantasy world, and I want this leader specifically to be a good leader, maybe somebody that the party would get a quest from, and I don't know. It's a water break time. And maybe for a long time, it's common for the wood elves of Fens to use illusion magic because they lived in the trees, right? They had to hide from these barbarians often, and they what do I write down though? Well, let's talk about Ziluri. Just kind of building the elves. Maybe we should go to the dashboard and make a organization. Yeah, let's go with organization. And we will organize it as the elves of Fens. And this is a not a guild, not a military, political alliance, activist, faction, family, federation. So let's say this, if somebody, maybe his opponent would maybe use illusion magic to help get what he wants done, but brotherhood, sisterhood, religious sect, cult, council, temple, sect, primary. I don't want to be religious. Well, I mean, they probably are religious. Political, faction, confederation, alliance, activist. A guild. Village council, right? That makes sense. But maybe his opponent would use illusion magic and maybe get caught. But the thing about Zaluri is that he's good, right? And when he represents these wood elves, they're mostly old. So, like, if you lie to them over hundreds of years, you're going to get caught at some point, and he realizes that. So he leads with a passionate and graceful leadership that all societies deserve. Let's see, what do we want to say about the Elves of Fens? For thousands of years, the Elves of Fens used illusion magic to, spelled wrong, go figure, protect and them sleeves. From outside forces. We'll say the serpent of Reckham. The serpent. Serpent. C-R-P-E-N-T. Okay. Reckham. Barbarian tribes. TC. Okay. And we can, of course, come back to this. Set forces. Let's see what you guys got to say. Okay. Let us go back. So we've created a leader for Zaith. Let's do a modern leader, right? Okay. Actually, let's work out the geography of northern Reckham. This song is kind of interesting for this. Let's see how loud that's playing. Let me know if I need to turn up the music or anything. Or if it's still kicking out a lot of feedback. I know that that's rough, but... geography, natural law. Still echoing. Wonder why that is. Oh, I know why that is. It's because the front room TVs, you can hear it in the microphone probably. We'll just deal with it for now. Yes, and I'll turn the music up a little bit. How's that? There we go. Yeah, we'll see. The Elves of Fens are a practical and tradition-based people. They used illusion magic for hundreds of years, helping hide them from things such as the Serpent of Reckham and the Barbarians. However, with the rise of Elf Zuri, they tossed aside illusion magic and switched over to enchantment magic. They decided rather than hide from the humans, they would befriend them. This backfired, however, and the barbarians viewed them as invaders, despite the fact that elves had been there for far longer than the humans. I like this idea because this is something that could have happened in the past. I like this idea because and eventually they stuck to their idea of befriending the humans, even though the humans attacked them and killed a lot of them. They forgave them and continued to befriend them, and eventually it worked out because the barbarians decided that this lifestyle of fighting, all it did was get people killed, and now they've become the successful town. Let's go back to the map here of Zaith, right? Because that was hundreds of years ago, and now they have worked together in a way and trade back and forth. But the Elves of Fens definitely use this natural river to kind of defend them against the continued barbarian attacks. Dogs are going crazy again. Don't worry about them, though. They're sweet dogs, I swear. So yeah, let's go back to the elves. Oh, gosh. There we go. Continue working on the elves. And I will add what you had put in the chat, Rains. Yes, thank you. Switch this. Barbadian. Barbadian. This this sounds like a poor accent. Barbarian tribes. Okay. I wonder what it is about me streaming that the dogs go crazy. I don't know what it is, but they love to just kind of act up. Whatever. It's okay. I still love them. This backfired, however. Why did they add a comma there? Yeah, whatever. It wasn't until hundreds of years later, maybe at some point, Ziliri or whatever. Hello, Sour Power. Tino was saying the same thing about the echo. I don't know how to fix that. Oh, maybe I just got it up way too loud. Can you hear me good though? How about now? Is that better? Monitor. Okay, there's that. We'll see if that helped. It's quiet. Too quiet. Well, let's see if I do this. Let me get this. Here we go. Turn that up. I can hear myself just fine. Yes, fixed. Okay. All right, good. We'll continue. Let's see if I can fix the music though. I need there's like an audio mixing device that I would be able to plug in all of my audio sources and control with dials and stuff, and it'd make this much easier. I've seen a lot of streamers use, but it's like $300, and I am just not invested enough yet to jump into throwing $300 at that. Well, as long as you can hear me, I guess we'll do it without music. So it wasn't hundreds of years later until that the tribes, that the elven I don't know how to phrase this, that the efforts of the leaders of the elves worked, and they were able to befriend the Wuxi. The tribes, the humans, and create an alliance. Excellent. Oh, doubled that down, huh? Okay, so there's that. Don't want to do that. Or that. Okay. Read. Okay. Let's go back. What do we want to build on next? So I'm kind of starting to get burnt out of these this barbarian / elven conflict. So let's think about what type of monsters live in northern Reckham. I'm thinking like dinosaurs. I think dinosaurs would be cool. Look how close it is to this frozen continent, and yet there's no ice or anything. Maybe some creatures come from this frozen continent through like an ice bridge in the winter and just kind of live here until they die of like naturally not being able to live there, but have evolved through thousands of years to live. And what on earth does this serpent eat? Well, well, obviously it eats the sacrifices. Maybe it lives off of magical means, but we know its venom is strong and its scales are near impenetrable. But it goes into the water and maybe eats aquatic things as well. And that would make sense if there were dinosaurs that this giant thing ate them, and that's how it became so giant. Maybe this serpent kind of tortured all of the world because I mean it's so big that it would easily travel, right? And obviously this isn't to scale. Oh my God, this looks fun over here. Fane, it's got these boats. The continent of San, Valence. I bet They got some cool bazaars over there. I like this dark area for like a vampire maybe. Ursern. What's above? I don't know what this is. Above? Above is a place. There's a cool volcano here. What about the Land of Giants? I was actually thinking about giants earlier today. Definitely some frost giants living over here in Killridge. And maybe that's why the serpent likes being over here, because it likes eating frost giants, right? And frost giants are another type of barbarian-esque tribe. Frost giants, I know, are very war heavy, and they prove themselves by having battle scars, and I like the. Let's do something about Creeridge, I'll say. Ursum, the Land of Corpses. I'll go back to Ursum real quick. One of the few places where necromancy is actively encouraged and practiced. I like that. I like that they're a society of necromancers that their ways might not be accepted, but the gnomes of Recrast and Archvine maybe are like the only ones who are willing to trade with them, as well as maybe some southern weary capitals. These places don't have names, but we can come back to them. So let's draw out Erstein in our little thing in here. We're going to name it a country or a settlement. God, I freaking love world building. Let's call it a settlement. Good at breaking the ice. Yes, yes. Frost giants would be fantastic at breaking ice. I believe they are immune to cold damage, so only thing ice does to them is maybe nothing. I can't think of anything that it would do that's bad. It creates bridges. They break it so humans can't travel on it. They use it as a war tactic. Maybe they weaken the ice and try to drown their enemies, which is kind of messed up. But we're going to add Ersern. And that is a city of necromancers, the Land of Corpses. I want to add that here. It just makes it so much easier when I copy and paste. Okay. One of the few places where necromancy is actively encouraged and practiced. Rumors say that the leaders are actually a cult of vampires. And we can get back to that. The gnomes have access to rare earth minerals for technology. I'm sure they do. Let's look at the map and see if we can be inspired. But yeah, it looks like there's some interesting plants growing here. I don't see any mines, but they may go deep in the earth. Clearly, to get like mushrooms like this to grow, maybe there's some magical influence in Arderia. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Let's see. All right, we'll go back to the dashboard. just jumping all over the place. Let's we can make a bunch of stuff that we can play with, and then kind of build from there. Mezwood. We can build Mezwood, Archvine, Earcast, and link it all back to Earson. So because the barbarians of Zaith lived up here, and they pushed the elves of northern Reckham down to this peninsula where they created the town of Fens. And then eventually, because this land was so difficult to live and the bridge is closing due to, natural geographical issues, the barbarians of Zaith, at least the more civilized barbarians, created a town here. Through now, because the elves of Fens have lived on this peninsula for quite a while, they've obviously developed some sort of trading route with the people who live in V-Bridge and Archvine, sorry. Maybe that's one, no, because that happened so long ago. I was going to say maybe that's one of the reasons why the elves switch from illusionary magic to, not evocation. What do we call it? Let's see. Creage, home to the creatures such as snowy owlbears. Let's go back up to Creage. Frost giants, even white dragons. The people of Reckham simply call it the Great Serpent. Is called Heimskrin in Creage. The frost giants have long conflicted with Heimskrim and actively try to break the ice that connects Reckham and Creage in the winter. Yes, and that's what they use these ships for, right? To try to create a divide. They're like special ice-breaking ships. What would a special ice-breaking ship look like? I don't know. I picture the giant freighters that they use in like the Arctic and stuff. But we can add that under Creage. We'll call that a settlement. I kind of want to call it a what was the other one? Country. No, we'll call it a settlement. Creage. I don't want to get too crazy. And this is a kind of an outpost. It's on water, so ward might work for this. It's not citadel, state, national territory. We'll call it an outpost. And then we will copy and paste that. Thank you guys so much for your help. I appreciate every single one of you for being here. This is so fun to do, and I hope to do it more often. That way we can build awesome worlds together. The land will close as if there were a living thing, therefore making mines impossible. The gnomes have created a warcraft drill that travels through the soil to find rare earth minerals. Okay. So the land of Adria, let's say it's a living being. Maybe it's like a fungus type being. What are those called? I can't remember what those are called. Oh, fungus monster. And then we'll put in Dungeons and Dragons. That usually helps. Oh, I spelled fungus wrong. Violent fungus monsters. Right on violet, sorry. That's not what I was thinking. It starts like an M. We'll say mushroom. Oh, there it is. Not this. Yeah, there. The myconoid. So I have a feeling that the gnomes of whatever that place was called, the gnomes of Archvine and Earcast of how do you say this? I don't know. You guys can't even say nothing. MYC something. Correct, yes. My Canid, I don't know. I'm so bad at reading and spelling. It's okay because I have fun with it. Known as the Fungus Ones and Fungus Folk. We're a race of ambulatory fungus creatures. I don't know what that means. God dang it. I can't highlight it. I can do this. I believe in myself. And he does it. Wow. Let's do a search. Adapted for walking. So creatures who are able to walk. Yes. Mushroom creatures who are able to walk. They were known for their peacefulness and appreciation of quiet, making their homes in darker corners of the world. So that makes sense that the Ugdariug. Ugdariug. Ugdaria. Okay. Adaria. Perfect. We did it. Wow. You're able to figure that out. Good job. You're able to read, unlike me. That makes sense that the gnomes like to dig deep down. Oopsie. We can close that. And they met a society of myconids, who work with them and maybe have come to the surface and built. Maybe the gnomes live in Archvine and the myconoids kind of live in Earcast and they work together. So hello, I don't know how to say your name. I'm going to say Martin because that's in your name. I am currently on Twitch. If you go to my profile, there's a link to my Twitch. But what I'm doing is kind of world building with the help of you guys. If you go to my Twitch, you can see my screen where I am using a map that I found on Incarnate and World Anvil to kind of work out some cool story maybe that will help inspire us, but it's just fun to make, honestly. I'm not currently playing D&D. Xavier. Thank you, Xavier. Not currently playing D&D, but setting it up so that maybe inspiring you or just having fun making stuff because it is honestly one of the most fun things a DM can do. Myconoids are really friendly mushroom people. Shame they tend to live in the Underdark, one of the most hostile environments around. Yes, it is a shame. Let's see. Well, that's Curie Ridge, or however you say that. Let's go back to the dashboard and add a thing for the gnome slash myconoid area. Sandbox campaign. Group of clerics called the A-Men instead of the A-Team. Oh, that's cool. That's fun. Yeah, it's good to have as difficult as it is, so first of all, it's extremely difficult for you to convey to your players the vast details of your world. Oh, like amen, like amen. All right, Xavier, thank you. Hola, see you later. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that is a funny play on words. The Amen. A group of clerics called the Amen. Amen to that. So we have Fens, Archvine, Iricast, Ursern, which definitely ruled by vampires, and necromancy is accepted there. Tollspire, interesting. It's got a little volcano up there. We have the frozen area of Creeridge. I'll figure it out eventually. That is basically no man's land. Council of Worms. Verms. Keyport. Vibridge. Let's stick to what we got going here. Let's write out the settlement for at least Archvine that eventually grew into Iricast as well, right? So Archvine. And this is, what's a hamlet? What is a hamlet? It is underground. Metropolis, capital. State, national territory. Starbase. Caravan, slum, military. Let's just call it a town for now. Let's do underground/vault. No. Let's call it a town. And then we'll copy and paste what I believe Sour Power set up here. Village of Gnomes. Okay, so I guess we can name it village. I'll call it a town. Who have perfected travel to and from the Underdark using their war, what did you call it? Warcraft drill. Let's see what we got going on here. How good of a tool is Incarnate? Aspiring DM here. Yes, Incarnate is extremely useful. This is actually something that somebody else made that I liked. I'm not an artist whatsoever, and Incarnate, I was able to make stuff like this. This is very basic. This is actually something you can do on the free version of Incarnate, but it's so easy to use. You just you don't even have to copy and paste. You select something, like let's say I want to add a little tree here. I can scale it. I can rotate it. I can pick between different types of trees, and I can, let's see if I can alter, no, zoom in and out. Let's see. Can't remember how to make it smaller. Right, density? No. Size, there we go. You make the size smaller and you can kind of add stuff in here. And there are tons of stamps. There's a ton of free stuff. But honestly, there are so many options that you can just kind of, you can literally generate a world using their tools. And they're constantly updating it. I highly suggest it. It's kind of cheap. It's $25 for a year subscription. Which, honestly, if you need to make maps very often, it's useful. You say you're a aspiring DM, so yeah, it definitely is something that you could use. To make a map like this would probably take like 30 minutes, tops. And that's for the free version even. So yeah, I do suggest at least trying it out. I'm honestly not the most skilled person with it, but I was able to make a map that's at least somewhat believable and you could play with. It's very fun. I suggest it. Burying the dead is an unknown custom in Irson. Yes. Families are paid for the corpses for their loved ones, and those corpses serve in the military force. Wow, interesting concept. There's a chance that the undead raised retain their memories, often becoming high-ranking officers, but still forced to serve the necromancers, of course. Let's go back to the map that I had. Okay. So we can go back to Ursun. Ursun. Isn't Ursun awesome? There's a I read that. It's like its own country. Yeah, I could see that. I honestly haven't come across issues either. And for somebody like me who's not very artistic, I think it's extremely useful. Like, there's some things like this right here. You can see that there's like a little gap there. But honestly, that doesn't bother me too much. It still makes this look like a ridge. This too, like, look at how this looks like it's higher up. And all this was something that they stamped down and it made it look nicer. And this actually isn't one of the more popular things. This has only been seen by 163 people and has 12 likes. I wonder if I could share this to my Instagram. It's anonymous posted it, which is probably... you can clone and edit, so you can download it, basically, and change things that you don't like about it. So let's say you want to add something to Ursun here. You could easily do that. I like how Ursun has like this natural like boggy swamp area around it that they probably use to protect themselves from other villages. I need to switch my category. Switch it to Dungeons and Dragons. And then title it as world building. World building with Kevin. There we go. Bam. Hopefully that helps. I'll get better at this eventually, guys. Don't worry. Stick with me. We'll have fun together. I swear. I appreciate your help. Very useful. Very helpful. I'll make cool things together. Town of Gnomes, we have perfected travel in Underdark. They have found a race of myconoids and have made an alliance. The myconoid have helped the gnomes by showing them the treasures of the Underdark. Cool. I like that. And then we'll go back to Ursun, the land of corpses. Let me edit this. What are we doing here? Don't want to delete. Edit. Why is it a wrench? Why is it not a pencil? Oh, we got another ad here. Write with confidence. Hey, that's me. I use Grammarly. It's up here. Oh, you can't see because my thing's in the way. But that's what's constantly helping me correct my spelling issues. I highly appreciate it. It's free. So, if you have spelling issues like me, use it. Love it. See Sour Power? Thank you for the help with the Giants. Let's see. Let's add this. Bam, bam. Copy. And paste. Correct pronouns usage. Ones is. No. Oh, Grammarly. I just promoted you, and now you're making me look like a fool. We'll call. What can I say? This is a country. Territory, metropolis, citadel, capital. We'll call it a capital. Ursern, the land of corpses, capital of Tulsfire. Right? Because there's nothing else here. Nobody wants to live in Tulsfire except for undead, necromancers, and vampires. But the vampires are secret. Back to the myconoids. Fungus folk unique among the Underdark races for their complete aversion to violent behavior. Good for them. Good for them. I like them for that. A general distrust of outsiders was common among the myconoids. Due to their experience with most other entities. Despite their suspicions, however, myconoids were a thoughtful race willing to give shelter or allow passage through their colonies to those who approached with peaceful intentions. The life of myconoid was strictly scheduled and split evenly. And, this is a perfect reason why the myconoids of Ericast and the Elves of Fens work so well together, because the Elves of Fens are, as we've established, are both passive and friendly to most others. The Elves of Fens being a completely non-combative society versus the barbarians of Zarth who push them south. Do we want to make more leaders? Or should we just keep kind of brainstorming some lore here? I could see the this place, Evu Mary, being a giant stronghold, a frost giant stronghold. That would be quite cool. And Niving being there. Maybe, because I don't think frost giants would have mines. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Look at this crescent. That looks cool. Maiden Incarnate. Beautiful. Vibridge. Excellent name for a town by a bridge. It's Vi the Beach. And they're like, oh, we should name it Vibridge. Ursern, the beautiful, beautiful bogland that it is. I like that the land of Ursern, it has these uncommon practices that are frowned upon in normal society, but is deemed like just kind of normal there. A lot of people in Ursern don't travel outward because they are oppressed. Maybe it's a type of very controlled environment few hundred years ago, Tolspire had become heavily impacted by a plague known as black rot. Disgusting. The plague spread very quickly across Tolspire, and in total around 900,000 people died from black rot, with very few recovering. The Prince of Tolspire at the time, Therion, was dabbling in the at the time forbidden practice of necromancy, and noticed that they could use necromancy to make up for the lack of troops they were struggling with. The king at the time shot the prince's offer down, and even locked Therion in a prison cell for his use of the forbidden practices. But whether by fate or luck, not 3 days later, the king had become infected with black rot. Shows him. He died a few days later, with the prince locked up. There was heavy debate on whether he should become king or not, and then arose a bloody civil war. Wow. What a beautiful, beautiful story. Just the area in general. 900,000 people died. And I mean, that's what turned the land so disgusting, right? Is this black rot that... What is the source of the black rot? What does that sound? Let's do this. Let's go to the dashboard. And let's create the geography country. Let's create the country. Tolspire. Let's spell it Tolspire. Oops. Yes, thank you. Am I spelling that right? Let's look at this. Tolspire. Yes. Cool. It's not broadcasting. Not a corporation. It's not education, entertainment. Geopolitical, country, march, colony, empire. Let's call it an empire. And we'll copy and paste this. Oh, that is not what I wanted to copy and paste. Copy, paste. King at the time. Up and down. King of the time shut the prince's offer down. Why is that? Even locked Therion in prison. So Therion obviously became a... Oh, what happened there? Therion obviously became a vampire, right? So what caused that? Let's jump back to the dashboard and create a person, character, and name him Therion. If it would let me. Spell that wrong? No, I spelled it right. It's because I'm awesome. I don't make spelling mistakes. And if I do, that's fake. That's somebody else typing. I have a ghost typer. They type for me because I can't spell. Therion, the former prince of what's this place called? Something Spire. Tolspire. Locked away by his father, the king. during a plague of black rot. And that could be an event we throw in, but do we want to go in that much detail? To escape, it's fake news. That would be preposterous. Except I would spell preposterous wrong. To escape the prison, here's an idea. PR. Therian made a deal with the god of death to become immortal, but in the process no longer has a soul. Because he gave his soul to the god of death in order to kind of increase the plague of black rot, right? Gave his soul to the god of death, turning him into vampire. Maybe one of the ways he was able to escape is he turned into a mist, which vampires can do, and murdered the crap out of his father, because that's what vampires do. Commonly process. Hello, sweet girl. How you doing? You coming to help me write some stuff? A good little girl I have. My dog is here. Escape the prison. Process giving us secretly. He likes to keep a secret. Turning him to a vampire. He used the veil of a permanent cloud over Toll's fire to protect him from the sun. Very dark land, right? Very hard to turn the guards into his thralls. Yes, very possible. As a vampire would do. Escape permanent cover or Tulsfire. So now we see that Tulsfire, the reason why it's so dark is because it's got a permanent cloud fixture over it, caused by Therian. He no longer ages. He is somewhere between dead and undead, just a kind of walking corpse. Sold his soul. Maybe now he regrets his decisions. To kill his father. most vampires hate that they're vampires, right? A necromancer vampire. That's pretty cool. Take over the kingdom and plans to one day take his soul back from the god of death. That's cool. That's cool. Cool, 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 and cool. Wow, look at all this stuff we've made. We're awesome. If you would like to look at this, I believe you can follow me on Incarnate. How about this? Let's download this, right? And add it to, move this over here. Pictures. And I'm going to add it to Incarnate so we have a reference photo in there as well. Okay. Or on World Anvil at least. Maybe. Dashboard. Let's see. Current date undecided. World meta. I don't know what that means. Premium features. Don't want to pay for that right now. Let's rename this, huh? The world is VYRMS. Oh, this is a previous. I can work on that. Let's upload. No. Maps. Choose file. Bam, bam. We'll call this VRMS world map. Create map. Well, we'll convert this to a JPEG or a PNG, so let's do that real quick. Therian isn't a vampire. Is a vampire lord, not a lich. Okay, so it is rumored that Therian is perhaps a lich, as he has lived much longer than most humans. However, it is unheard for humans to live so long. Yes. However, the truth is Therian is a vampire, not a lich. Oh, I'd love to add that to it. Let me fix this. Save it as a JPEG. Choose file. Ooh, which one's the JPEG? Oh, we'll just try one, see if that works. Need to rename the JPEG so I know which one is which. Bam. All right. So now we can start pinning our places. How fun, huh? Okay. What other locations we got in here? Archvine and Curie Ridge. I thought I made... Oh, maybe I didn't make Zaith or Ferns yet. I just made the... Let's do another pin, right? Create new marker, drag and drop. Oopsie. Hey, we're working this out together. Okay, so when I click on this, it brings up the location. How fun. We have Curie Ridge, which I can throw in here. Make that blue since it's up in the that area. And then we'll take this one, and this will be, what's our last location? Archvine. Oh, make that green or something, right? Danger, exclamation mark, plain. We'll do plain green. How fun. There's a new marker. And look at that. Look at that. We are making some headway here. How fun. All right, let's go back to... Oh, I don't want to create a new one. Let's see, browse. Search articles. Therian. Is that how you spell it? Yes, world building is fantastic. We are nearing the end of my 2 to 9 that I normally do. It has been 2 hours, but I want to add this little bit about Therian, and we will continue this next week, hopefully. Takes a second to load everything. Let's go back to view world. Oh no, I want to go to dashboard. Dashboard. This has been really fun, and I hope that we can make this a regular thing, so that we can kind of grow this cool thing together, and maybe one day make a book or something about it. That'd be fun. There's Therian right there. Let's see what we added here. It is rumored that Therian's rapid life, humans do not live long. Fantastic addition to the story. As always, Rain, I appreciate you so much. Perhaps Celestials in the which is kind of a given based off of so this part is kind of a given based off of the stuff that we've said before, but it is good to throw in to add to the story. But we can call it a day here. I've had so much fun today. I'm excited for the next time. I hope people come on here and watch and see how much we got done here. And let's look at this dashboard. I have some cleaning up to do, which I should do before our next next Wednesday when we do our next session. I hope to see you there. If not, that's totally fine. But you've all been so helpful throwing out some stuff. Do I have a Patreon? No, I do not have a Patreon, but we can work on making something. Okay? I would love to make a book together with my followers. That sounds just absolutely phenomenal. It's been a dream of mine. Also want to make, because I am a huge fan of Dungeon Master screens. I want to make some Dungeon Master screens too, and maybe throw in some cool tables that you could roll on. Maybe come up with some stuff together that would be useful for people to use when dungeon mastering. I know a lot of people are in the virtual tabletop world now, so it's a lot easier for people to hide their stuff and not have to use Dungeon Master screens. But it is something that I absolutely love, and you can't beat a good book, right? But that being said, it has been an absolute blast. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time, and have a fantastic day. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe. Hopefully this pandemic is over soon, and we can start living our life like normal again.